What's going on, Soul Tribe? I salute the divinity in you, and welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and bringing another little nugget to add to the Soul Tribe archive. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the sun in Scorpio in the first house. I'm like, look at the sun. This is a really, I think, really powerful placement for the sun here. And when you talk about the sun, some of the things that you think about is the sun is that inner light, that soul, that thing that connects us with source, the thing that fuels the body, the thing that urges us to build and express and to create things create things outside of ourselves. And the sun can bring about this prestige, this recognition, this leadership, this regalness that the sun can bring, especially when one is in their divine alignment, and that's going to be really important, I think, for this placement as well. But yeah, those are just, I mean, the nice thing about that, 10 times out of 10, people usually know their sun sign, so that's gonna be very important with this. But then you get into Scorpio. Scorpio is traditionally ruled by Mars, and they are the fixed water sign, receptive in nature. And Scorpio is very different from the water signs, considering that Cancer goes back and forth between the water and the land, and Pisces just being fully submerged in the water. Scorpio, being a scorpion, they carry their liquids with them. And theirs just happens to be these toxins. The toxins don't just harm, they can be used to create antidotes. And I find that Scorpio has a way of taking the emotions and really in transforming them into others. These are like the sages, the shamans, of the great healers of the zodiac. When we're talking about Scorpio, there's a deep intuition, since they're so closely connected with this. And again, they have such this concentrated liquid. When you think about the waters that they carry, that there is this deep intuition. They can sense scorpions, they can feel I remember reading this somewhere, and don't quote me on this, look this up, where they feel the vibrations in the earth, and they can feel when something is approaching. So there is so you can see where there's this, they can sense just the underbelly of things. So yeah, very, very impressive when you think about Scorpion energy, very like the detectives of the zodiac. And then you get to the first house, number one house. This in traditional astrology was known as the horoscopus house, or the hour marker. But this is the ascendant. And it's now, depending on which house system you use, you either have the ascendant is like the middle line there, like let's say in Placidus, I have 12 degrees of Leo. So my ascendant would be at that 12 degrees and would just split it from that 12 degree line there. Whereas I work with whole sign, and you have the first house, which is just all Leo, and then there's a point for the ascendant. So there's a little bit of a little nuance there. But the first house, some of the topics that it covers are the actual body. This could be the appearance, the physical constitution. This is the speech, the temperament, any sort of behavior, the beginning of all actions. This is the life force manifested. When we're talking about the ascendant, the ascendant here, very important house. So when you're working with this placement here, some things to think about. One, obviously you have your Scorpio rising, and you're going to want to look to see where Mars is at, because Mars is going to be responsible for your first house and for your sixth house, your house of your health, it's the house of illnesses, enemies, small pets, things along those lines. So definitely health is going to be a thing that you're going to want to pay attention to with this placement. But also, or it may just be a theme that's maybe a part of your life there, depending on what Mars is at. But you also want to keep in mind of the sun is going to be responsible for your house of career. That's where you would have Leo at. So your career, your achievements, your public contributions to society, things along those lines. So one kind of thing I would talk about with this person is just like, who do you feel you are? Like, what do you, when you think about who you want to be, do you feel in alignment? Because one thing I really like about the sun being in the first house is that there is this real deep connection, this easier connection between spirit and body. I find that this placement, sun placements here, can more easily express oneself. You know, there's a comfort there, especially, and see if you have the sun conjunct your ascendant. That's a very powerful placement to be. The more personally, you know, like really tune in with the body, but who do you want to be? Who do you feel yourself being? And that Scorpio is so in tune with oneself. You know, I think that making sure you have a deep connection with the body in different ways. This could be feeling your body doing like different sort of flowing like water, you know, especially when it maybe comes to moving through different emotions. This could be maybe taking up like a martial arts. That's very martial, very Mars theme, or doing like a Tai Chi, something along those lines. But some sort of physical activity I think would be very beneficial to help you, especially move through certain emotions. You know, maybe if you have stuck things, maybe doing or feeling tight or emotions, that maybe doing some yoga. That could be some very wonderful things, I think, too. Swimming, I think, could be another great thing. And maybe working with maybe introducing some, this is not medical advice or anything, but if you do, I find that like St. John's wort is a really great herb to work with, especially if you have yourself working with some tougher emotions that you're dealing with. Or even like dark chocolate. That can be a really nice one. It just, that bitterness kind of helps you cut through that, just kind of helps ground you a little bit. It makes the what's going through more easy to swallow in a sense, and to digest, and to alchemize the way that Scorpio does. I could see this as a person with a really just sharp trust your intuition. I could see this as, yeah, someone with really, really sharp intuition. You know, someone, and be responsible with that. Be responsible with that, because I find where you can maybe sense things that others aren't talking about. They may not be ready to deal with them. Like you may have processed some things, can, you know how to, it's easy for you to feel them, again, because that Scorpio is used to carrying those emotions and moving through, dealing with more volatile emotions. It's not that Scorpio is volatile, it's just that they pick up on all the stuff around them, so like water signs tend to do. So, but I would just be mindful about when you go to help people, letting them ask you and letting them kind of establish, as opposed to digging and prying and stinging, stinging all the stuff until they release, till they tell you all the business. This could be someone, I would say, who could probably pull out fine secrets. I mean, you may get recognized as some sort of medium, maybe some sort of detective, something in where you need to find something, where you need to go into undergrounds of things that requires, and this could be great scientists doing some sort of like deep studies, really wanting to get to the core of something. That's one way I could see this manifesting as. Maybe you do have a certain attractor. There's something about Scorpio energy that is very attractive. Like when I'm around it, I have my son in Cancer, and when I sense Scorpio energy, it's a different vibration, and like a very distinct one compared to other signs. And you could find that in your speech, something that's very magnetizing, very hypnotizing, maybe even in your voice, the way you speak to people, the way you can maybe even rouse emotions out of people. So again, just pay attention to that. You know, I think that that's just something to just get an eye on, as far as like how you're working with that type of force there, because Scorpio is a force, especially having that, you know, that traditional Mars rulership. So those would just be some, but I think again, very one who could help people move through some emotions, process some things. So, but yeah, just some very basic things to think about that I would explore with this person. You need the whole chart to get a better picture of what's going down there. But if you have this placement or know someone who's working with this placement, down in the description box below, or in the description box in the comment section, leave a comment. You wise, intuitive, like for real, that's wild. So I'd love to hear how you've been working with these placements. And also in the description box, if you want to work with me and find out what services I provide, there's a link down there, or there's a link to get it. Well, yeah, like not a link, but like a way to get in touch with me, like my email, and we can talk about the different services that I provide and which ones work best for you. And then down in the description box is a link, or excuse me, on the same channel, if you want to work with the celestial or with the planets weekly, I release weekly videos every Mercury day. That's a Wednesday. So you can check that out, see how the planets are interacting with your planets there. Since you got quite a bit of Scorpio here, you're going to want to look for fixed planets, and Scorpio, or in Scorpio, but in Taurus and in Leo and in Aquarius. And then if you want to work with the moon, there's a link for my other channel, The Chariot and Friends, where I do videos every day. Every day the moon changes signs, and I do all the lunar astrology, what sign she's in, what phase she's in, when she's going void of course. Then I do an I Ching for the general energy of the day, and then ended off with a tarot card spread. So all types of mysticism for you there to check out. But until next time, I think that's all I got for you. Stay mindful out there. Keep raising that vibration through the roof, especially with this place. So just raise it through the roof. And I will catch you on the next one. Later.